joining me now, I have co-author of 52 Reasons to Vote for Hillary, former Clinton pollster Bernard Whitman, and Boris Epshteyn, senior advisor to the Trump campaign. So here we go. Actually, I would like to begin with you here because on the last note of Evan's was on these the worries of hacking. And to take it a step further, I know Evan has said that the FBI cannot say for sure that these emails were not hacked.
You know what's amazing, Brooke? You know what the FBI can say for sure and has said for sure for over a year and a half? That the State Department email system was hacked numerous times. It was the worst cyber intrusion in the United States government history.
I haven't heard that at all.
Are you kidding? Go back and look at the report. It was 18 months ago. It was March, right when this whole thing blew up. The FBI said the Russian hackers hacked the State Department email system numerous times. It was the worst intrusion they've ever had.
So is the argument that her private email is more secure than the State Department?
I'm saying the one thing we know is that the State Department email system was hacked. Hillary Clinton's email system likely was not.
Okay, that's a ridiculous pivot.
Hang on, Boris. I know you want to jump in, but the fact that the FBI cannot say with regard to her emails that they were not conclusively, not totally hacked, that's not a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing, but you know what is a good thing? The release of this report. The Clinton campaign wanted this report to come out. Why? Because the FBI had an exhaustive year-long investigation. They talked to probably dozens and dozens and dozens of people, hours and hours of testimony, and the decision not to recommend prosecution for her was absolutely unanimous. Was it careless? Yes. Was it a mistake? Yes. As Hillary Clinton said, I should not have done this, and if I ever had to do it again, I'd make a different decision.
But was it criminal? No.
It was not criminal.
So I guess that's the benchmark now to become president, is not to be a criminal in jail.
To be competent.
Let's go through the facts.
17,500
emails that she lied about turning over. The server wipe. Within weeks of there being a report that she had a private server, it was wiped. She thought that C, which stands for classified, stood for cookie or something, which stands for classified. She thought that drone strikes are not classified. She said that the reason she used the private server is for convenience, and that she only had one device. She used 13 BlackBerries, let me finish, and 5 iPads. At least she doesn't just stick to either BlackBerry or iPad. This is somebody who is absolutely disqualified from becoming president. They destroyed BlackBerries with hammers in the State Department. That's not what we won the presidency.
Actually, Evan, hold on. Can you fact check that? Hang on, Evan Perez. Hammers, fact check that for me, please, on the fly.
Yes, they did, Brooke. As you mentioned, there were 13 devices, mobile devices, and 5 iPads that the FBI said that, you know, in some way were used with her private email server, and they did, in some cases, just destroy them with hammers when they were done using them.
That's a pretty good way of destroying.
She forgot her training. No, it's not. That is absolutely not following the rules and regulations of the State Department. You know it. Your 52 reasons just went down to 1. No reasons left. Listen, here's the bottom line here. This is somebody who's disqualified from becoming president. She said that she didn't remember her training because of her concussion.
Boris,
does she still not remember things?
Enough with your grandstanding.
This is all. Listen, these are all facts. Did I say one thing wrong?
Let
Boris, your candidate has committed inducement to incite espionage.
What are you talking about?
Are you kidding? He has basically encouraged
sounds good. That is a ridiculous statement
against the United States. That, frankly, should be a treasonous offense.
That's a huge reach. What is treasonous is to enable. Yeah, he's going nowhere.
No, my point is,
the fact of the matter is that Hillary Clinton exposed classified information.
One voice, gentlemen, please.
You have someone who is so irresponsible with national security information that he's inviting a foreign leader who is hostile to the United States to engage in electronic espionage against the government and against the party, Vladimir Putin.
What's the example?
He said, you know what, why don't you go ahead and hack the DNC?
That's not all what he said. He said if anyone, can we even fact check that? Because that's not the truth. The fact of the matter is, all Donald Trump said, if anyone has those emails out there, we should turn them over to the FBI.
No, that's not.
Which is in everyone's interest. Okay, in your mind only, maybe that's another reason for your book.
On the I don't recall point, Evan, let me actually just bring you back, because you said 39 times she said, I could not recall. In what context? Was that with regard to all kinds of different questions on drones and classification levels, or what?
They had mostly to do, Brooke, with whether or not she was aware of the propriety of using her unclassified system to discuss some of these different issues, whether or not she ever got a security training briefing to tell her, you know, how to use her unclassified system to talk about sensitive programs. And here's the most interesting one. There's a discussion back in 2011 around Christmas time. CIA is planning to do a drone strike. There's some discussion among some State Department officials. And what's remarkable is the Secretary of State says that she wasn't aware of what the rules rules are for handling this type of stuff over Christmas holidays, because as you know, over the holidays, people are traveling, they don't have access to their classified SCIFs, their secure systems to communicate, and she said she didn't really know. There was no protocols for dealing with that. That's kind of shocking, frankly, that you don't know that you can't talk about something so sensitive as a drone program.
She also brought her
Let's let Bernard respond to that.
I actually think it's an indictment of the system that the State Department clearly had. Unfortunately,
that's
what
over
are you passing
the
the
years,
buck onto the system? I mean, it doesn't look good.
Look, the fact of the matter is, this has been investigated ad nauseum. There is, Hillary Clinton even said, is there smoke? Yeah, there's smoke. There is no fire here. We need to move on to the actual real issue.
Of course, that's what you'd like to do.
Talk about.
Hillary Clinton.
I would not elect her for
let me
CTO, but I certainly would elect her for commander.
Not only did she fail as Secretary of State, she was a horrible Secretary of State. We just had the information on Iran. We just had the information on Iran come out. That deal had secret clause in which allowed Iran to keep uranium. She was a terrible Secretary of State, but she couldn't even follow the rules. Listen, if you had a teacher in a school that broke all the rules of that school, you wouldn't elect that teacher to be principal. That's what she's trying to do. She's absolutely unqualified. There's going to be more that's coming out. Just 20 minutes ago, about half hour that all this broke. There'll be more coming out. She could not bring herself to follow the rules of the State Department. And the question has to be asked, why? What is she hiding? What was in those 13 Blackberries? There's also a laptop with classified information that's simply missing now. That came out in the 302s as well. No one knows where it is. She was so responsible. She could not be allowed to be president and to get daily briefings.
And we will continue hearing this from the Trump campaign until it is November 8th.
And when Trump is defeated for the presidency.
Okay.
That's your answer. She's not qualified to be president.
Bernard and Boris.
There's about a million reasons in here.
Actually, I think that the American people will absolutely decide that she is qualified. That's why she's ahead in the polls.
She's not ahead, but we're ahead in the polls. And we'll be ahead by a lot after all this.
Evan Perez, thank you so much as well. Thank you.